Okay, so the new refreshed Tesla Model Y, aka the Model Y Juniper, was just officially revealed by Tesla, but only in Asia. Let me show you. So if I go to the regular Tesla.com, I'm in the US, so it's the US version, and you can see the refreshed Model 3 is here from last year, but the refreshed Model Y is still not here. This is the old Model Y. So let's just duplicate this tab and go to tesla.com/cn. And then it's the Chinese version of the site. And what do you know, on the front page, it says Model Y and it's the refreshed Model Y. And this thing looks really nice. So of course, everything's in Chinese and I can't read Chinese, so we're gonna translate it to English. So new Model Y, okay. So, ooh, it's looking nice. So the first thing that you probably noticed is the front looks completely different. The main bulk of the car kind of looks the same, but the front has this nice line light. I don't know why these brakes are here in it. That kind of like ruins the aesthetic in my opinion, but I like it. It's so stealthy. It's funny because as soon as I saw this, it reminded me of Lucid's cars like this because of that bar up in the front, but Tesla's definitely looks sleeker. So if we scroll down, it's actually going back to the old Model Y, which is funny. So you can kind of see the difference here. See how the old Model Y is like bubbly and looks more normal kind of, but they changed up a lot on the front. It's a lot more flat. So let's click learn more. It's actually the new blue color. They got rid of the old one and now it's like this more like lighter blue, which I don't know which one I like better. I kind of like the old blue. You know, maybe this one looks better in real life. Something interesting to note with the front, this little thing right here is a bumper camera, which Teslas have been missing forever, and this will be super nice for features, especially like self-parking, because the only other front camera that Teslas have had is this camera up here in the windshield. So now there's one right here. It's super nice. Okay, so here's the first look at the back. So it's really interesting. The sides right here look exactly the same as the other one. I was noticing that. It's got like the same line and stuff, probably because that's where the charge port is. But then you can see that it's this bar across it, which is really interesting. I kind of wish they made it one solid light because it's hard to tell in this picture, but there's a light above it that's red and then it shines down and then reflects back for the like light. It's really interesting. But in my opinion, I think this back right here is just a little too bare. Like they moved the license plate down here too. And it's just like missing something because the old one, there's a license plate and there's like different levels right there and it just looks better in my opinion. And this is just too flat. It reminds me of the Cybertruck. It's just a big flat side. The good thing about this car though is they upgraded the suspension. So it's like way nicer, just like the Model 3 refresh. I'm looking at used Model Ys right now and this looks really nice, but it would cost a lot more than a used one. So I probably wouldn't get it. We'll actually see how much it costs here in a second because I'm kind of curious. Here's a better look at the tail light. So like I was saying, it reflects down and then the Tesla logo is right there, which looks really nice. I don't know, I'd have to see it in person and then I judge if I like it or not. But as I was saying before, the center of the car looks exactly the same. If you just covered both ends of it, I doubt you could tell the difference between this and the old Model Y. Yeah, let's actually try that. I'll pop up both on screen with the front and backs covered. Do they look the same? Probably. They redid the wheels. To me, they just look the same. This is nice. The back seats, instead of like a button and they drop, these are motorized. Like, oh, it's just all these little nice things. There's a back screen too. Open front. I'm curious if the front is powered. I highly doubt it, but if it was, that'd be really nice. The screen is slightly bigger technically because there's less bezel, but it's still the same size of screen, but it's a bigger screen on that, which is definitely nice. I kind of thought about this on the refreshed Model 3 too. It just looks a little derpy on the front. I think it looks a lot more derpy on the Model 3 refresh just because like the headlights look too flat and that's kind of giving it a weird look. It looks better on the Model Y in my opinion because it's just one straight bar. It still looks slightly derpy, but I think it looks cooler if anything. I feel like the thing that I love the most is how much they've differentiated the Model Y from the Model 3. Like they look completely different now, which is so nice because before this was the difference between them. They literally look exactly the same except the Model Y is taller. I mean, I could tell the difference between them, but most normal people couldn't. So, you know, it's kind of nice that they changed it. Yo, that looks clean though, I can't lie. It looks more futuristic than the old Model Y. Maybe the light bar should have been a little thicker. It just seems a little thin to me in some parts. Just, I don't know. Okay, so we can look at all the specs now. So it's interesting because it says new Model Y specifications. And then on the US site, it's just the old Model Y, so it just says Model Y. I'm glad it differentiates that. I was about to say they renamed the long range battery to a long lasting, but that's probably a translation thing. Okay, so we got old Model Y on the left and new Model Y on the right. So acceleration on the old one is 4.8, new one is 4.3. I think it's interesting how they don't have a performance new Model Y up yet. So we can't really compare to the performance, which is how you get that speed. Everything's in metric, so I don't really know the difference between stuff. I remember hearing it's the slightest bit longer and the slightest bit shorter on the top, but it's like not even noticeable. It's like a couple millimeters or something. But this is what's interesting. The charging speed, exactly the same. Okay, it's not telling me the range for the new Model Y, so we're gonna go to the order page and see what it says. Okay, so it says for the long range, which is what we're comparing this to, 719 kilometers is range. So that's 446 miles. So yeah, Yeah, it's slightly more than the old Model Y, probably not really noticeable if I'm being honest. And as I was saying, they redid the blue, so it's glacier blue now, and I like more of a rich blue, and this one just doesn't seem as rich to me, but it's more like casual, if that makes sense. So basically the bulk of the car is mostly the same. There's just a slight thing here and there that they changed, and all those little things definitely add up. Like they're nice, like there's finally cooled seats in the car and stuff like that. But the new one has a launch series, which is kind of like the Cybertruck's Foundation series, except not, because the Cybertruck's Foundation series is going on for like forever. You can buy a Foundation truck right now and it came out like a year ago. But this one will only last 2 months. You have to order it within the next 2 months to get it. It'll have this little badge. Here's a better image of the badge. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like how Plaids have a badge. And then the interesting thing is they also have, so when you open the door, it's a puddle light. Yeah, right here. It'll shine that on the ground, which isn't my favorite. I like their official replacement with just Tesla logo because I think that looks sick. I wouldn't really want that showing when I open the door. So what they say on here is longer range, new design, high quality interior, quieter driving experience. Yeah, it's basically all the improvements that the Model 3 got just for the Model Y. And the Model Y is the best selling Tesla ever. It's like the best selling car in the US. So they know it's gonna go crazy, which is probably why they added a launch series up here. So this is interesting. It says if you purchase the new car, you get 10,000 yen off, which 10,000 yen to dollar is $63, bro. There's no way. Maybe no, this is Chinese money. Okay, Chinese yuan. Okay, let's see. Let's grab all that. Okay, 10,000 of this is 1,400 off your car. I guess that's not bad. That's like a decent amount. And then let's see the price of the car, 41,389 for the long range. Notice how they can't do the gas savings crap in the Asian market. Like I wish we could have that. Yeah, so long range in the US for the older one is 48. And it's 41,300 in Asia, bro. Maybe I should just get one imported. But then that'd probably cost the same amount at that point. And then I just want to see the cheapest possible. So the cheapest possible is long range rear wheel drive. So that's 45,000 in the American market for the old one. The new one in the Chinese market, I don't know how many times I've said Japanese, but I'm on the Chinese site. 36,000, dang, that is a steal, bro. If the new Model Y was 36,000 in the US, bro, I'd buy it over a used one because that's like a little more than a used one. So yeah, basically if you're in Asia, you should probably get a refreshed Model Y because it's just a stealer deal. I do think it's weird how they released it in Asia first. It's kind of a weird marketing strategy, but supposedly Asia has a lot of competition in the EV space, so maybe that was like strategizing of Tesla to release it here first for more buzz around it in Asia. This car is definitely a nice upgrade compared to the old one. I think they did a really good job on it. Like comparing to the old one, you could definitely tell that they did a nice refresh on it. It doesn't even look like the same car from the front. And now looking at the Model S and X, they just seem so outdated. Like they really need to refresh them. Like the Tesla I want most is the Model X, but it's not refreshed, so a lot of the features are outdated compared to the refreshed 3-inch Cybertruck and now refreshed Y, and so it's just like the worst option. So yeah, that's the new refreshed Model Y. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below and make sure to subscribe.